Good afternoon. Velazquez here with you, transparenttradesolutions.com on a Tuesday, 16th December. We had a lot of data this morning, payrolls and such. Yet the market is just churning here, just cannot get any kind of momentum. Let's get into the charts here. Again, subscribe to the newsletter. Wrote about some of these markets like silver and gold and commodities with the dollar. So go ahead and subscribe to that. Uh, so when we look at the charts right here on the S&P, now remember, this is the March 26 contract. So keep that in mind because we did have the rollover. We are essentially just chopping around these levels here around the obviously these numbers change because of the rollover. So it used to be 6,800 was kind of a pivotal area, which was here. Now we're just basically chopping around. There's the best level now. Demand zone is coming in at 67.19. If you are, in fact, choosing to trade based on this contract, we're still basically churning sideways here with the same level, 6,800, if that's the continuous chart that you're looking at. I'm looking at both. Clearly, 6,800 seems to be the key level here, which is interesting because the SPX is hovering right around 6,800. So bottom line is, you got to get the AI trade to get working here. Similarly with the NASDAQ, you can see we're getting a little bit of a lift here on the NASDAQ, but overall it's been very choppy trading, really. And these levels come in down in here on the on the NASDAQ. Bitcoin also basically in a range, kind of at the bottom part of the range. We'll see if these hold here at 85, and then we finally get a breakout. Uh, if you're trading futures, this is not a bad, it's about $1,000 with a micro. Remember, every 1,000 point uh, move in Bitcoin translates into $100. So you're essentially looking at about $800-900 range here. If it holds, obviously it's trying to attempting to hold. You can see the range here, clear resistance. Um, the VIX also kind of just meander. I think if it breaks 1850, that would spur more selling. But for now, it looks like the markets are fairly low volatility, and we may have to wait till the new year to get some increase in volatility. This is also, rates did not change much. We still have that big resistance at 420. Are we going to pause here and then break out, or this is just more of the same? Obviously, we got some, we got core PCE later this this week. I believe it's on Thursday. And so maybe that changes. But overall, this is also kind of stuck in a range. The dollar continues falling. It did bounce off that 98 level that I wrote about in the newsletter. So we'll see if that is a bottoming process. By the way, if that does prove to be the bottom, I think that may finally get the metals to give back some of the gains here. Uh, Gold is sitting also kind of range bound, failed to touch the 40, barely, came up to 4,400, bounced off of 4,300, and now again, kind of sitting in no man's land. So it is possibly in a transition. We will see. Similarly with silver, I don't think unless the dollar strengthens, you're going to get any major reversal in the metals, and that also goes for copper, which has been sideways here. Also, kind of just having some support at 529 and ultimately 518. Um, Gold was a story everybody is talking about. Is it going to break down finally? We've been talking about this $55 a barrel level. It's trying to hold. Looks like they may, what they'll typically do is clip it once everybody gets very bearish. You can see here, actually, did the same thing. And on a weekly chart, the 53 level actually is a pretty strong demand zone. And similarly with nat gas, after these huge moves, it looks like nat gas came right up to 550, which is the supply zone. And in the adjusted chart, we're trying to bounce off that guy right there, which is roughly hanging around the four. And we'll see if that holds in that gas. 12 is the UNG level. So we're at some critical levels there. Also, the grain markets have now caught some of the selling, trying to bounce off some of these areas here. Wheat looks like it's headed back towards 15 a bushel, or I'm sorry, 5 a bushel. And we'll see. But, bottom line is, again, without the advance in some of these mega caps, Nvidia still kind of flat on the mat, can't get any traction. Apple now got sold. That's stabilizing a little bit. Oracle, which is taking a massive hit, is trying to bounce today. So maybe this is the beginning of something. Uh, but I think, ultimately you got to watch stocks like Nvidia, um, Microsoft, and some of the mega caps. Tesla obviously had a huge run up, and that's at all-time high. So that's a one exception uh, with and this one's kind of vulnerable too because every time they run this stock up to a new high, uh, you know, it does have these massive pullbacks. In fact, the last time we made an all-time high was back in November of last year, and basically went from 500 488 literally all the way back down to 220. So we'll see if this actually is different this time around. So in any event, lots of choppy trading, very challenged environment. Um, but maybe Santa Claus comes in. One of the things again you got to see is the sentiment is still pretty bullish. I would suspect that may not materialize until the beginning of next year. I would say I would be shocked if the market just runs away from here. Yeah, I think we have more of this. And in fact, I think one big sell-off, we got to shake out all that positive to get everybody scared, and then maybe we get a rally. So, okay. In any event, have a great week, and we'll see you on Friday. Take care.